Y'all, I'm high. Hello, loves. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the channel where we have conscious convos, and today we are on day 3 of Reflect and Evolve. The topic of discussion today will be the nervous system. Y'all, I'm gonna be hitting this while I talk. The nervous system, it plays a bigger part than what we think. Depending on what we think is a threat or not, our nervous system will ignite and send those signals. If you believe something, there's usually some type of importance or emotion tied to that belief. Last episode I mentioned, if you haven't watched it, you should check it out. Last episode I mentioned how when the ego feels threatened, it does everything in its power to protect it. It can feel like a literal life and death situation for the ego. So it's going to then work with the nervous system to send these signals. Those signals, we call them triggers. Depending on these beliefs, it might not even be in a moment of true danger. It might just be a word somebody said, a smell. Triggers really stick with us when we suppress what has greatly impacted us. Say you went through something traumatizing when you were 7 and now you're 18. From 7 to 18, you have been suppressing it down lower and lower, and the thing about suppressed emotions is that they never truly go away. You have to be the one to work with it and initiate that healing. So my prompt for today, do you feel like your nervous system is regulated? And I ask this because, especially when manifesting things in our life, if our nervous system isn't regulated, it will feel that fear and think that it needs to try to stop your growth. It might hinder your growth because if your nervous system is not regulated, then it cannot be in a flow. And the things that you're trying to attract will be on a higher vibration. And they told me what to do, but I always forget when I come outside. What are some moments where you felt triggered? Again, these can be moments where someone says something and it puts you off, even though they weren't trying to be offensive. There's a common thing that people tell you, so when someone says it, even if it's not in a negative way, it might trigger you. Someone affirms a belief that I'm trying to give examples that make sense, but it's kind of hard to explain. We all have our triggers, so at the end of the day, you know what triggers you. And then if you don't know what triggers you, think about times where you've felt like you might have overreacted over something. Something put you off in a way and you can't explain why. For me personally, when I was working and in the work field, I was noticing I had a lot of triggers around that time. I was looking into shadow work for the first time, and yeah, I was realizing that certain things really do trigger me. And one time I got in an argument with my manager. It was about the stupidest thing ever. Well, it really wasn't. It was stupid because it's just like he wasn't being very considerate. But I told him how I felt and I was confronting him about the way I felt. And it was like, you can't feel that way. And that triggered me so bad. Like, I think it's because growing up, I was used to being invalidated. So even though that I can be upset in that moment, I felt in my body like a little bit more than it needed to make me. What I learned from that was like, one, it all back to something, and most of the time it comes back to childhood. And that triggered me because I've heard this before and felt this way about someone that I've loved or someone that's close to me. Any sense of invalidation, like, at that moment I was not able to just bounce back from it, you know? That was a while ago, so now I've learned a lot more practices and tactics, but I'm just sharing so you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm saying, just in case I'm not making full sense. I don't know. I always try to over-explain rather than under-explain so you guys can understand what I'm saying. Dysregulated nervous system is more prone to seeing threats in situations where you're not being attacked. You're not in a do or die moment. Feeling uncomfortable is something that we don't exactly want to experience, but it's important for us to experience. And the ego does not know how to exactly cope with that. Because comfort is, it's just its middle name, you know what I'm saying? Right, so ego can be a influence on your nervous system, but also trauma, like things that you experience that have literally altered the way you think and move in life. When your nervous system is regulated, it's not burnt out and working 2 times hard when it does not need to. Everything can flow better, and it's something that I'm even working on towards, because I feel like my nervous system definitely needs some work, and that's fine. Like, okay, so now I'm gonna leave you guys with some affirmations. I am safe. I breathe through my triggers. I am aware of my triggers, and I make time to work through them. I understand that my nervous system is just trying to protect me. Therefore, I honor it and give it time to be regulated. And that's all I have for today, y'all. This is day 3. Come back to see day 4, which should be tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See y'all in the next one. Bye.